I simply did what no one believed he would ever do. He remarried, but not to Tiny this time. Yes, you heard correctly. Reports indicate that T is causing the internet to collapse. Shekinah Joe, Tiny's lifetime friend and former best friend, was the one I secretly married. This narrative makes every hip-hop quarrel and love story seem like a Sunday brunch, so if your jaw dropped, welcome to the club. This brings us to the crucial question. How did Tiny's ride-or-die spouse wind up marrying the same lady who had previously referred to her as delusional? The wedding pictures that were purportedly hidden in a burner phone were leaked by whom? And why, according to sources, was this marriage kept out of the public eye for almost 6 months? The most disrespectful turn in hip-hop romance history, according to viewers. According to Tiny's friends, she passed out after watching the released video. Shekinah is abruptly showing off her diamond rings as if she's just hit the Powerball, but Ty remains mute. However, this goes beyond mere rumors. This is a jumbled headline that combines loyalty, treachery, and a small concept known as karma. This section is going to burn, so fasten your seatbelt. They stated that, except when the cameras are rolling, what occurs in Atlanta stays in Atlanta. Someone's burner phone begins to vibrate in the middle of the night like a siren, and the direct messages are leaking. Hip-hop is currently being rocked by a tale that isn't a new album, a hit song, or a comeback tour. It's a wedding. The wedding was an unnecessary event. A wedding that permanently altered Tiny and Shekinah Joe's chaotic past. Ted-I didn't simply cheat if the rumors are accurate, and believe me, they are shouting. He became completely treacherous. Even TMZ's night vision drones couldn't have captured the covert ceremony in which he married Tiny's ex-best buddy. This disaster didn't begin yesterday, so let's go back in time. It began years ago, back when Shekinah Joe and Tiny were inseparable. Two ladies who dragged haters together, laughed together, and wept together. He claimed that Shekinah was a little shadow before fame, jealousy, and one too many, from salon chairs to stage lights. She claimed that there were times when their friendship completely collapsed. Recall those tumultuous Instagram lives where Shekinah sobbed while accusing Tiny of being false and ungrateful. It wasn't an act, it was heartache. Additionally, behind the scenes, those close to both women claimed that I was always mediating, as they termed it. However, what if his role extended beyond mediating? What if Tiny's perceived protector was actually constructing a whole new empire behind her back? According to unnamed insiders, it began at a charity function in Atlanta in 2023. Shekinah arrived late, T.Y arrived alone, and paparazzi took a picture that no one had given much concern to until today. Because a certain filmmaker supposedly witnessed them leaving together that same evening. No bodyguards, no entourage, just two longtime friends who may have become more. 6 months later, Shekinah abruptly stops using social media. She says she's trying to improve herself. Supporters believed she was receiving therapy. She was in premarital counseling, it turns out. Under the nickname Miss H, she is purportedly seen conversing with an Alabama preacher in leaked text exchanges. There is a modest private ceremony, a spiritual union, and no cameras allowed, according to the messages that are currently making the rounds on gossip pages. Does that sound familiar? This is when things become complicated. During a phone repair, one of the little stylists allegedly discovered an old iCloud backup. Photos with the label Baltham Trip are inside. The photographs, which were explosive despite being grainy, revealed Shekinah wearing a white standing in front of what appears to be an altar in the backyard, wearing a dress and T.I in a beige suit. One preacher, 3 witnesses, and a ring that, according to our source, resembled Tiny's previous anniversary band. This cannot be made up unless they did, of course. When the rumors began to circulate on blogs, the internet completely collapsed. Hashtags like, "If he got married," "On Shekinah exposed," and "A Tiny deserves better" were trending more quickly than a Nicki versus Cardi breakdown. Ted-I was defended by other supporters who referred to it as fake news. Some claimed to have recognized the pastor from a megachurch in Atlanta that was renowned for its celebrity discretion. Tiny remained silent in the meantime, but silence is powerful. According to insiders, she locked herself. She spent 3 days in her home studio, neglecting production deadlines for her reality show spin-off, deleting pictures, and denying calls. She was broken. She kept saying, "He wouldn't do that to me," according to one buddy. Not with her. Nevertheless, every indication was present. Shekinah was seen wearing costly jewelry months before to the leak, which some admirers claimed didn't go with her typical style. Nothing subtle, a diamond choker here, a Cartier bracelet there. She chuckled live when asked who gave them, responding, Let's just say I got my own TI. No one understood what she meant. Literally. The timetable is genuine. Ted, I was filming a doughery that ended inexplicably in the middle of the season. Creative differences are the official explanation. On the other hand, set workers claimed that the rapper was preoccupied and spent a lot of time off location with a female consultant. Can you guess who was mentioned in the crew credits as a guest consultant? Joe Shekinah. Supporters believe it was all prearranged. A modest beginning to a romance that, if made public too soon, would have gone viral online. However, it wasn't kept secret because someone, possibly Tiny herself, an assistant or an envious cousin, submitted those wedding pictures directly to the Atlantic Secrets gossip email at protonmail.com. They were in several outlets within hours. In a few of days, every hip-hop blog, T-site, and Shadoom was breaking them down pixel by pixel. The wildest portion comes next. According to claimed legal documents, T.I.'s name appeared in a Jefferson County, Alabama, private marital filing. Redacted is the spouse's name, but the initials are the same. S.J. A local clerk who was contacted for comment stated, "For privacy reasons, some celebrity files are sealed." That's bureaucratic jargon because we saw it but didn't say anything. By Tiny's breakdown was more than just an emotional one. It was tangible. After her lawyer showed her the documents, she reportedly passed out. There were emergency calls. Before anyone could even verify that she was okay, paramedics arrived and the video, which was obviously recorded, leaked online. Others blamed karma, reminding her of previous controversies involving other women, while fans showered her comments with heart and sobbing emojis. There is no forgiveness on the internet. It merely shifts the focus to the villain. I remained silent during all of this T-dot. There will be no posts or denials, just a mysterious tale accompanied by the saying, "What's done in silence will speak loudest." Oh, it did. This is where things start to go south. Gossip Spill Vibe was informed by anonymous insiders that this was more than a brief liaison or affair. With an NDA offshore witnesses and a document notarized under a corporate pseudonym connected to one of T.I.'s music endeavors, it was a spiritual marriage. In essence, it was meant to appear unofficial, but if someone ever looked closely enough, there were enough signatures to count. And someone did. According to reports, a digital forensics company engaged timestamps, GPS positions, and the identical camera model that T.I.'s videographer uses for his YouTube videos were among the metadata discovered by Tiny's lawyer from the leaked images. This indicates that these disclosures weren't haphazard. These were captured in-house. A member of T.I.'s inner circle uploaded proof from a device linked to the production account for his business. The same question is now being asked by everyone. Why now, and who in his team betrayed him? Because another piece fell just when the internet thought things couldn't get much messier. "I told y'all God don't make mistakes," Shekinah says in a 27-second video clip while grinning and wearing a veil. And what sounds more like a confession than that? Supporters wanted explanations. Ty's team was inundated with demands from the media. Attorneys began to move like chess pieces. However, before anyone could blink, all traces of that film vanished, as if it had never been there, erased from all platforms, cleaned from archives, and removed from re-uploads. Or perhaps a powerful person ensured that it would never be seen again. Because it turns out that this wedding story becomes darker the more you delve into it. When the true evidence comes to light, someone is lying, someone is hiding their tracks, and someone is about to lose everything. Let's just say that the proof is on the verge of leaking once more. Suddenly, it began to leak once more. This time, though, it wasn't just any old hazy photo or screenshot. The wedding footage was so clear and was taken from two distinct perspectives that it seemed like it was from a music video. At 2:43 a.m. Atlanta time, the video was posted online by the anonymous burner account ATL Truth Room. It received over 700,000 views in a matter of minutes before being reported and taken down. However, the harm was irreparable at that point. Ted-I is shown in the film standing by Shekinah behind a floral archway, grinning like a man who shouldn't be grinning. In the leaked photo, viewers noticed that he was wearing the same beige suit. And Shekinah, wearing a tiny diamond tiara, a white body-hugging dress, with tears streaming down her cheeks as she declares, "I waited my whole life for this moment." The audience applauds. Someone can be heard saying, "To new beginnings." The only issue is that Tiny's initials are blatantly visible as tattoos on his hand. People went crazy. It was too much for the shade room to handle. Twitter became a scene of a crime. According to reports, producers of Love and Hip Hop even called emergency meetings to see if they could turn this into a new special episode. However, the third individual who showed up in the corner of that footage caught everyone off guard. Standing just outside the lights is a shadowy figure in black with a phone in hand. Viewers swore it was Tiny herself when the video was slowed down. The blonde hair streaks, the jewelry, and the height are all the same. She was even credited by some with filming the entire event. If it's accurate, Tiny entered her own husband's wedding and took a video. According to a family insider, gossip spill. It seemed that a female relative of Shekinah's who felt bad had spied Tiny 2 days prior to the ceremony. Tiny apparently drove to Birmingham wearing sunglasses, a hoodie, and other disguises to see if the reports were true. This source claims that what she discovered split her in two. It gets considerably darker from here. People don't realize that Tiny, Ted, and I are as entangled in our finances as earbuds in a washing machine. Joint lawsuits, joint ventures, and joint properties. Everything is shared. Even a private remarriage could have an impact on brand contracts, royalties, and business ownership. Bigamy laws were already being discussed by lawyers, and gossip sites began utilizing terms like criminal fraud and concealed riches. The money trail followed. Some unusual transactions occurred during the same week of the wedding, according to a leaked financial document purportedly taken from a digital ledger associated with T.I.'s Grand Hustle Entertainment. $148,000 was paid as a venue deposit, $12,500 more for the event's consultant. The math was done by SJ fans using the recipient's initials. The entire cost of renting a luxury country lodge for a weekend in Birmingham. Shekinah, meanwhile, began behaving strangely on social media. Her captions changed from a path of self-love to, "God's timing is perfect." She shared pictures of her hand partially covering her face, revealing a ring. She then posted a boomerang with the remark, "Y'all going be mad when I show my man," adding fuel to the internet fire. Tiny's pals were incensed. "It's not about the ring," a close friend of hers in the industry told reporters, requesting anonymity. "Respect is at issue. The past, present, or future of your friend's spouse are all off limits." A code exists. However, that code seems to have expired in the Atlanta entertainment industry about 2019. When Shekinah went live one night at 1:17 a.m., it was a true shock. Evidently sentimental yet stubborn. "People out here saying, 'I stole somebody's man,'" she remarked. "No one was stolen by me. You cannot take something that has already been taken." She then stopped, inhaled deeply, and continued, "Yes, I am a wife. My heart is known to God." Boom. Verification without verification. It was clipped, stitched, captioned, and re-uploaded worldwide within an hour by vlogs. For 48 hours in a row, Shekinah's confirmation of her marriage to Ty was trending. Still, there was a discrepancy. Reporters set to work. A document purportedly depicting T.Y. visiting an Alabama courthouse weeks prior came to light. His printed name was visible, but the signature box was blank. The odd thing is that Tiny's last name, Harris T., was written as the witness signature. People began to question if Tiny was involved in the setup. Was this a botched experiment or some perverse kind of retaliation? Because according to insiders, Ted, Tiny, and Shekinah had been recording a private reality production about forgiveness and healing before to the scandal's public release. Rebuilding damaged friendships in the industry is the idea. It was purportedly supported by a significant streaming service. Before things got out of hand and became too genuine, some now think the entire wedding was intended to be a stunt sequence for that show. Naturally, the production business disputed all of this. According to a brief statement they issued, "We are not affiliated with any personal or private events involving these individuals." Translation: because of this disaster, we won't be sued. But you know what? Additionally, the NDA for that said project was released. In the small print, a section stated, "All participants agree to simulated relationship exercises that may involve ceremonies, symbolic unions and/or staged conflicts for emotional authenticity. Relationship simulation exercises, unions that are symbolic." That's legalese for staged weddings utilized for movie production. The internet was now split. Half thought that Shekinah and I were married. The other half believed that everything was a PR stunt. However, the emotion in that video seems genuine, as evidenced by the way Shekinah gripped his hand and the way I smiled when he said, "I do." It appeared to be closure. But the mayhem was just getting started. Sponsors began to leave the tea, looks at brand partnerships. His endorsement was dropped by a local radio station. One PR agency severed its relationship, claiming that the brand was in danger. Tiny's group fell silent. According to reports, even their children removed posts that mentioned their parents. The entire family seemed to go underground. But behind closed doors, attorneys were working quickly. According to insiders, Tiny's legal team requested marriage license verification through formal inquiries addressed to several Alabama counties. She might apply for immediate enumeration of joint assets if she could demonstrate the legitimacy of the union, thereby halting T-Wine's commercial empire until the truth was revealed. At the same time, Shekinah apparently engaged her own lawyer for her rights rather than for safety. "I have proof that I am entitled to respect if I am his wife," she was telling them. That evidence, as per one insider, a handwritten letter bearing T's signature. "Months ago, I vowed to always look out for her. Although that isn't a contract legally, it's gold in terms of rumor." Then the most outrageous turn of events occurred. Screenshots of a text thread with the title Grand Hustle Vault appeared. Possibly from TY's inner circle, the messages depicted someone talking, hiding the video, and paying to silence the preacher. This is more than just a controversy if that is the case. There is a conspiracy. Entertainment blog investigators began to sniff around. A local clergyman was questioned, off the record. Despite never filing any documentation, he claimed to have given a private blessing for 2 people in entertainment. Isn't it convenient? The tale had already made its way to national media. Late-night presenters made jokes. Timelines were overrun with memes. But there was a darker pattern developing beneath the laughter. Claims of psychological games, NDAs, and manipulation. "This isn't just betrayal," a therapist wrote in a TikTok meltdown that went viral. "In public view, it's emotional warfare." Nevertheless, I remained mute throughout it all. He didn't publish anything till Friday at 6 in the morning. Plain white letters on a black screen. "A few individuals will be harmed by the truth, but it will eventually come." Everything was rekindled by that one line. People began to wonder if he was going to defend himself, expose Shekinah, or reveal the secret that would completely change the course of events. Because someone apparently connected to the unreleased editing crew, according to one source. One additional clip remains, a 9-minute section titled Vows Alternate Cut. Additionally, if that file leaks, it may disclose information that Tiny is unaware of. Something about the true planners of that wedding and their motivations. That 9-minute clip that everyone was chatting about. At last it leaked. Not on Instagram or YouTube, but on Final Cut, a dubious file-sharing website housed elsewhere. Don't publish. Before anyone could clean it up, digital detectives downloaded it in a matter of hours and replicated it worldwide. Ambient wedding music opens the video. Talk before focusing on T. "Make sure Tiny sees this," I whisper to someone off camera as I adjust his tie. The entire story was turned on its head by that single line. Fans suddenly stopped discussing betrayal or love. They were discussing retaliation. Because this entire wedding might have been planned for humiliation rather than love if that phrase were true. The video goes on. Shekinah appears emotional, smiling, and radiant. She looks anxiously at someone behind the camera, though, if you slow it down. "We rolling," a producer's voice adds. "Make sure your vows are brief." "Make sure your vows are brief." "Hold on, what?" The voice of a producer? That validated the blog's suspicions. This union did not happen on its own. The setup was filmed. But to whom? For the sake of Tit's ego, Shekinah's closure, or a reality show pilot that was never shown because it was too harmful, even for streaming services. You can hear the team laughing softly while the vows are being said. The sound then stops as a clapperboard clamps shut. Over a dark screen. There is a flashing subtitle. Scene 12B. Rap was set in Birmingham. That was all it took to get the internet going again. Half the fan base let out a yell. Everything was on stage. No, the other half said. He meant it. For 3 days in a row, the hashtags Akarsh Scenario 12B and .ti Final Cut were trending. As if it were the Zapruder film of hip-hop heartbreak, every YouTuber with a microphone turned into an investigator, replaying the shot, examining body language, and focusing on Shekinah's eyes. The big tempest, however, came when a whistleblower who claimed to be involved in the production came out under false pretenses. They said that the alleged symbolic marriage was a component of a reality test. I put myself forward. The plan was to pair people who had harmed one another and force them to face their emotional baggage on camera in order to document forgiveness through catastrophe. The only issue was that Shekinah was unaware that it was a fake. Take a moment to process that. I allegedly persuaded Shekinah that the ceremony was real in spirit, the insider claimed. Although he promised her closure and a sense of validation after years of betrayal, and the paperwork was a prop. Perceiving a spiritual rejuvenation between them, she consented. She was unaware, however, that producers were parked outside in a van, filming every moment of her response for a pitch reel called "Did I Redemption or Ruin?" She wasn't speaking to a husband when she said, "I do, therefore." To a setup, she was saying it. Everything altered the instant that insight appeared online. It was the opposite of sympathy. Those who had previously dragged Tiny now turned on Teddy, accusing him of being a cunning director masquerading as a husband. One tweet that went viral encapsulated it. She was not his wife. Her heartbreak was auditioned by him. Once more, Shekinah disappeared from social media. "Played myself trusting the wrong soul" was the description for her most recent post, which featured a black screen. Never again. In contrast, Tiny eventually made her voice heard in an Instagram story that has since been removed. "Some things don't need my words," she wrote. "God took care of it previously." Silent, deadly, and cryptic. Insiders claim that T.I.'s team fell into a panic behind the scenes. The sponsors pulled out. One major streaming site reportedly stopped his development deal, and networks pulled out. According to a legal source who spoke to Gossip Bill Vibe, Shekinah's attorney started drafting a lawsuit for emotional distress, claiming she was forced to attend a fictitious ceremony under false pretenses. Millions in damages and, more significantly, the public disclosure of all NDAs associated with the project could result from it. Here's the catch, though. The NDAs were very strict. Anyone who spoke may face fines of 6 figures. Almost everyone abruptly forgot what had happened because it was so handy. The camera team vanished. The pastor changed churches. Overnight, even the videographer's social media accounts disappeared. The wedding seems to have never taken place, with the exception of the millions of downloads that are still in circulation, of course. The FBI angle came into play at that point. It seems that after identifying several shell corporations linked to the event payments, an entertainment fraud division became interested. Payments made via a production company that, before to the wedding, was not lawfully operating. Interpretation: real money, bogus company. Investigators wanted to determine if this budget for the ceremony was actually used for something else. Participants may engage in tax evasion, money laundering, or hush money. Although there are currently no answers, there are speculations that subpoenas have been sent out, one of which is said to have ended up in T's mailbox. He attempted damage management in public. Among the words in his social media freestyle were, "Truth cut deeper than hate, but y'all click before you think." Fans, however, didn't buy it. They bombarded his comments with footage of the wedding vows and snake emojis. The man who was formerly known under family fallout, because family hustling was currently popular. In the meantime, rumors circulated what may be the final piece of this strange puzzle. Days prior to the wedding, Shekinah left a voicemail for a mutual friend. "He told me Tiny already knew," she continues, her voice quivering. "She offered her blessing, he told me. I trusted him." The final shred of illusion was broken by that line. Tiny, she believed, was cool with it. She believed that forgiveness was reciprocal. Rather, she fell into a trap that caused her suffering to become widely shared. The world had already rendered its verdict. Shekinah became the collateral damage, Tiny the survivor, and Ted White the antagonist. One headline, 3 lives, and countless memes. But there was something genuine underneath the memes. A discussion about entertainment masquerading as exploitation. Rumor had it that the Pilots Network was thinking of filing a breach of contract lawsuit. Attorneys flew around like vultures. While everyone wanted the views, everyone also wanted the footage removed. The paradox of contemporary stardom is that a controversy that feeds the algorithm cannot be eliminated. Then suddenly there was another video. Tiny's admission. It wasn't censored or ostentatious. A dark room with just her. Eye fatigue, smeared makeup. Softly, she said, "Do you want to know the truth? I was already finished long before the wedding. Years ago, I let him go. However, after seeing that clip, I understood that he also let go of himself." "I don't hate her," she said in a whisper after pausing to wipe away a tear. "I only wish she had been more aware." Once more, that clip altered everything. All of a sudden, sadness took precedence over drama. Tiny turned into the woman who endured silent suffering while everyone else smiled. Brand deals came back, her fan base grew rapidly, and she began to receive calls for her own documentary. According to rumors, she was even approached by a large platform for a tell-all called Tiny, What Really Happened. And Ty's empire shuddered. Sponsors left. His camp was radio silent. One producer who wished to remain nameless put it succinctly, "You may bounce back from a controversy, but not from causing it." Checking into a healing center in Arizona is Shekinah's last known action. According to a fan who saw her, she appeared calm but damaged. No one knows if she will speak again. However, there is no denying that the covert wedding, whether real or not, revealed all the flaws in Atlantis' purported royalty. Perhaps this is the reason the story is so captivating. For it's not only about Shekinah, Ted, or Tiny. It's about how celebrity transforms heartache into content, love into leverage, and friendship into rivalry. The last twist. A new document appeared on the internet a few days ago. Jefferson County's official marriage certificate. The signature at the bottom reads C. Harris, but both names have been deleted. The wedding video that was leaked coincides with the date. It rekindled the question that began it all, but no one can tell if it's real, fake, or planted. Did Tadai truly wed Shekinah, or did he merely document her demise and label it art? All we have are hints, inconsistencies, and disorder until someone speaks up. And perhaps just possibly that's precisely how he had it planned. Because the truth doesn't get out in this city. It is manufactured. This is not the end of the narrative. It's only the beginning. The question is straightforward now that the truth, or what's left of it, is coming to the surface. Here, who is truly at fault? Is it Tadai, the genius who supposedly made suffering into art? Was Shekinah the one who thought betrayal could bring love back to life? Or is it Tiny, the lady who saw her world burn and who, like Atlanta's own phoenix, rose from the ashes? Because this is not another scandal involving a star. This serves as a cautionary tale about devotion, ego, and the price of making your personal pain into a public spectacle. We all chuckled. We all clicked. We all contributed. However, when did the narrative become more than just a gossip and begin to represent someone's actual collapse? There is another video, according to sources, one that transforms everything. Here's the twist, though. No one knows if it's evidence or just another fabrication to keep the cameras going. We can only conjecture, drink tea, and watch the empire of silence become louder by the hour until that footage comes to light. What do you believe actually took place? Did you use both ladies as leverage? Was Tiny aware from the beginning? Or did Shekinah ultimately outperform? Both of them? This story is far from over, so share your theories in the comments section. It is simply growing darker. Wait until you see what leaks next week if you thought this was crazy. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, because we uncover the drama on this channel, not just report on it. This is the channel where every secret finally comes to light, betrayals become viral, and rumors have documentation. This is not the end of the narrative. It's only the beginning. This is not the end of the narrative. It's only the beginning.